And I'm Jeff Smith. Thanks for joining us. A Frankfort police officer from Ferguson, Missouri speaks with us tonight about the unrest in his hometown.
News 18's Holly Campbell joins us now with more on what he has to say about the protests. Holly.
Well, Jeff and Gina, protests are still underway in Ferguson, and they've caught the attention of a lot of people in our area, including a Frankfort police officer. Deputy Police Chief Glenn Talbot says he never thought his hometown of Ferguson, Missouri would be the center of attention for millions of people across the country.
It's like any other town that you go to. You get to know people, the people in school you graduated, you know, your school was the best school there was.
Frankfort Deputy Chief Glenn Talbot grew up in St. Louis County, where protests are underway after an unarmed teenager was shot and killed by a police officer.
Being from that part of town, I feel bad for Mom and Grandpa that still live there, because some of the places that they would go and shop aren't going to be there, at least for a while.
Talbot says the protests are not on the streets where his family members live.
Mom wasn't that concerned the first couple of days. About midway through the first week, she started to get a little concerned. But you know, most of the actions going on the main streets where the television cameras are. Nobody's in the neighborhoods anymore.
It's those neighborhoods that Talbot got to know police in and around Ferguson. Talbot says he had several run-ins with police before leaving Missouri to join the Army. But it was that interaction that led him to his own career.
When I thought about law enforcement, I thought it was kind of cool that circle of life sort of happened for me, that I got to get back into law enforcement and try and do the same thing for some people in my own town here.
When it comes to the protest, Talbot says his heart goes out to the officers working in St. Louis County.
I think it's terrible that the police departments and whatnot have got to dedicate so many time and resources to what appears to be just a show.
He says he thinks all law enforcement agencies across the country will be able to learn from what happened in his hometown.
I'm certain that when they look back at this situation, they're going to do an after-action review, and they're going to find things that they wish they could have done better. And hopefully everybody, that'll get passed on from law enforcement agency to law enforcement agency, and everyone can learn from this one particular situation.
Talbot served in the Army for 14 years after graduating high school. After that, he spent some time in Lafayette before moving to Frankfort. Holly Campbell, News 18.
Holly, thank you.